What's going on, guys? Sleeveless Mike of Raw Dog Sports. I am back, and today is day 20 of 32, but we are not going to pick the team who is picking at number 20. The Falcons are on the clock today. They do not have a first-round pick, so that first pick in today's mock will come from pick 48 for the Falcons and Falcons fans. Hi again. You probably all hate me from last year, and I completely understand why. I was not a big fan of the Falcons going into the season. Obviously, things did not turn out the way you'd hoped. Let's see if we can make this mock go your way, and you guys can be prepared to maybe compete with a new head coach. Who's going to play quarterback, though? That's going to be an interesting question as we get into this mock. But, guys, if you have been tuning into these, thank you very much. It means a great deal to me and to everybody associated with the No Sleeves Network and Raw Dog Sports. If you would not mind, while you are here, go ahead down below, hit the subscribe button. It'd be really cool. And then you get to check out all the rest of these as they come out, because we got a few more as we count down to the NFL draft, which is getting closer and closer as we speak. But with that, guys, let's get into the Falcons mock draft. This mock will probably not take a super, super long time because, well, they don't have a lot of picks. Let's get a little energy fuel going here. Oh, ribbits. Needed that. Oh. All right, so we got the Falcons on the clock, 48. We are going to be doing 7 rounds. We're using the PFF big board while it still exists. And we're not adjusting any of these because we want it all to be the same for each team entering the draft. Let's get this thing started. We'll go back and recap the top 10 once we get down to 48. So we had Fernando Mendoza at 1, Ruben Bain 2, Sonny Styles 3, David Bailey 4, Arvell Reese 5, Mansour Delane climbing all the way up to 6 now into the Browns. 7, Jeremiah Love. 8, Carnell Tate. 9, Dylan Theinman. And 10, Caleb Downs. We're seeing Theinman mocked over Downs at this point. Interesting. Let's scroll all the way down to 48, and let's see what we are working with here. So top needs, wide receiver, D-line, linebacker, corner. We got D'Angelo Pons, who I love. You just got to worry about the size a little bit. And you got Chris Johnson sitting right here. It's also very good. Edge could be a huge need for this team if James Pearce Jr. goes to prison, which it looks probably pretty likely that he's going to go to prison. So that is also an area that we can attack here. Keith Abney here, I think that's a little high. Lawrence is a little high. Receiver Brazell, I mean, he feels very similar to a Drake London, so I don't know if that's the right fit. This is a pretty deep wide receiver class, so I don't think that's the right angle to go here either. D'Angelo Pons was incredible for the Indiana Hoosiers this last year. I mean, you look at the passer rating, only 50% completion when targeted. Played outside at the most part, though. That might be tough for him to do at the NFL level because he's 5'9", 173. We got these write-ups from PFF. Pons plays with clear passion and urgency every snap, while his size, athleticism, and strength limitations cap his ceiling. His football IQ and instincts give him starter potential as a zone defender. Okay, so Pons, great player. Got to have the right kind of fit. Chris Johnson, another very good player, mostly outside at corner. More well-suited for the NFL size, 6 foot, 195. He is scheme-dependent and best suited for off coverage rather than press. In that role, he excels with physicality, spacing, anticipation, and ball skills. So now you're talking about 2 guys that are not necessarily going to be press man corners. Who do you like better? Do you like Pons or do you like Johnson? I personally like Pons better as a player, but the size limitations are concerning. Now, you look at that conference, or I'm sorry, the division, and the receivers are not nearly as threatening as they might have been in past. Mike Evans out of that division, so you don't have to worry about the jump balls as much. But you also now have a Ted McMillan coming in. I think I'm leaning towards the size component here. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go with a Chris Johnson here out of San Diego State. I mean, had a damn good year. You look at the passer rating, he was even better than Pond. So Chris Johnson to the Falcons to improve that defense. I know it wasn't their top need, but I didn't see an edge here that I wanted. Now, D-line, I can start to address right here. Darrell Jackson Jr., Falcons running a 3-4. I mean, he perfectly slides in as a nose in a 3-4. Massive, powerful defensive tackle with opposing physical traits. When his hand usage is right, he can be dominant, but inconsistent in technique. And processing limits his impact. He remains a high upside prospect. This is a great get for them right here. Perfect scheme fit, in my opinion, as well. Falcons would be thrilled, in my opinion, to go this route. Receiver, though, has to probably be the next pick, and there should be some decent ones on the board. So let's hope that that's the case. But we are going Darrell Jackson Jr. right here to the Falcons at pick 79. All right, now, before we get into this next pick, because I'm pretty sure we're going to go wide receiver, let's go back. Let's recap some of what the Falcons have done this offseason. So they've gone out, they have re-signed, or not re-signed, they have signed running back Brian Robinson Jr. because Tyler Algier left, so he will be backing up Bijan. Trevor Siemian comes in to be a backup. The quarterback room is a big question mark for Atlanta right now. You have Michael Penix Jr., you got Tua Tagovailoa, and now you got a Trevor Siemian. Which one of those guys are we confident is going to be our future long-term starter? Michael Penix looks like he might have plenty of arm talents, but can he stay healthy? Tua Tagovailoa had moments, concussions, and then obviously has been playing really bad over the last year, and Trevor Siemian is a career backup. So that's tough. Just talked about it. Tua comes in. Jahan Dotson, though, wide receiver, comes in to help out that wide receiver room. Jake Bailey, punter, comes in. 3-year deal for a punter, so long-term deal there. Austin Hooper, very familiar with Kevin Stefanski, and Matt Ryan. So going back down to Atlanta, going down to Atlanta works very well for them. Cam Thomas was a former Brown, is going to go down there. He should help with the edge potentially. I don't know if he's going to be a 3-4 stand-up guy, though. I don't know how it's going to work for him. Deshaun Hand, D-tackle, comes in on a 1-year deal. Channing Tittle, Christian Harris, a lot of these are backups. Olamide Zaccheaus now, that's a receiver that can help provide some depth. Azeez Ojulari, linebacker. Nick Folk comes in. Corey Levin, center, to help provide some depth and maybe compete for a starting spot. You got Chris Williams at D-tackle, LaCale London at D-tackle, Samson Ebukem, I think is how you pronounce it, at D-end, and Tyler Goodson at running back. So a lot of these rooms have kind of been filled out, and you don't know that you would go there. The wide receiver room, though, I feel like could still use some help. You got Drake London, Jahan Dotson, and Zaccheaus. Zaccheaus is a depth guy, 3-4 type guy. If you can find a receiver in this range that we like that can be impactful, and you can't. Not right here. I mean, Jacoby Lane, but Jacoby Lane feels very similar to... We're going to wait. We're going to hold out for maybe a Tyron Montgomery. And there's always some options there late at the draft. Because this does not feel good to take a wide receiver right here of these guys. I don't think. This is Drake London in a not as great body in my mind. I just don't. We'll come back. Okay. So we have addressed corner and D line. Is there a linebacker or an edge right here that can maybe help us out now. Jalen Kilgore. But let's look at linebacker. I mean, I really liked this kid when I was at the Senior Bowl watching him play. 3-4 inside linebacker, though. Maybe. Let's see what they got on him. So Betcher is a high-energy, multi-sport athlete who plays with physicality despite a smaller frame. He can carve out a role in an attacking defensive scheme. Okay. All right. So you know what? Bringing him from an inside linebacker spot wouldn't be terrible. Let's go with a Betcher here at 122. Falcons fans, let me know what you think. Are we happy? Are we sad so far with this draft? Let me know in the comments. And you guys love to kill me in the comments. And that's kind of what I was hoping for. Was Eli Heidenreich was going to be right here at the end, right? So Eli has been not getting drafted until much, much later. 6th, 7th round. And that's okay because this kind of gives him an opportunity to go to a really, really good spot. It says fullback. Falcons fans, don't worry. I am not drafting you a traditional fullback. Eli Heidenreich is not a fullback. He is your Danny Woodhead. He is your Danny Amendola. He is your exciting white who went to the Naval Academy, who's got a lot of juice. Lined up at fullback, halfback, slot receiver. That's his best spot, slot receiver. So you get him with a Pitts and a Drake London. You have a lot of versatility on that offensive side of the ball. Kevin Stefanski should hopefully find a way to be able to use all of that. You bring in an extra Austin Hooper tight end. So he's got his multiple tight ends. Let's go with Eli Heidenreich, who addresses the receiver spot, even though it's going to say fullback and PFF is going to fucking kill this. I think it's a great move for Eli, honestly, and the Falcons if this were to happen. All right, now down to this last pick. Tight end here, Riley Nowakowski. I don't know if they're going to institute using a fullback with Kevin Stefanski going there. He loves tight ends, especially if they can block. Riley Nowakowski kind of fits that profile very much. We got Damani Jackson sitting right here, though. I mean, it seems like the last corner that probably could get drafted. That cornerback depth chart is not terrible. I like the safeties were fucking awesome. We already addressed corner early with Chris Johnson. So you got an AJ Terrell, you get Billy Bowman, you got Chris Johnson. I mean, Mike Hughes. I feel like that's a pretty solid corner group. Here late at the end, what do we want to attack? What do we want to help with? I feel like linebacker could be, or edge. Nah, with James Pearce, you never is there a height, weight, speed guy here? Where is what is that kid's name? I don't remember what this kid's name is. The HBCU kid that is coming from, I believe, Nigeria. He could be an interesting prospect. I don't know if he will get drafted, but my goodness, if you haven't checked this kid, I got to look his name up real quick. Hold on. Uar Bernard. I doubt that he's in here. There's probably no way that he's in here. But last week at the NFL's HBCU showcase just went bananas. Absolutely bananas. Nobody knew about this kid, so I don't think he's probably in here. Nope, he is not. That is how you spell his name. U-A-R. Uar Bernard. That would be good right here for them. But since he's not available, let's go with edge. Let's go with a Michigan guy here. Let's go TJ Guy. Outside the tackle a little bit. I mean, I don't know that he's going to be a perfect fit. I don't know that any of these guys at this point are a huge fit. Oh, here we go. Let's go with a long finesse pass rusher. It's kind of what the Falcons love. So let's go Anthony Vincent Jr. here to cap this thing off, and then we'll see what PFF says about this draft. All right. We have some good numbers to start with. So Chris Johnson, A. Dale Jackson Jr., A. Betcher, B. Eli Heidenreich, A. Anthony Vincent Jr., C+. Okay, you know what? 231, C+, that's fine. I got an A- on the overall draft and in the top 42% of Falcons drafts. All right, Falcons fans. So I know if you watched us last year as a Falcons fan, you probably hated me. And with good reason, because I talked a lot of shit. But I think if you guys pull off something like this, you get a lot better. You address a lot of needs. And if you are not aware of Eli Heidenreich, you should get to know this guy because he would be a great fit on this Falcons squad late in the draft. I mean, wide receiver is a need. He could help in multiple areas. Multiple areas. He is not a fullback. So, guys, thank you very much. I'm Sleeveless Mike of Raw Dog Sports. Time's the most valuable thing that you have. So anytime you give something to me, I appreciate it. And so does everybody else associated with Raw Dog Sports and the No Sleeves Network. But I'm going to get out of here, and I will see you tomorrow. See you.